My name is Antti Leinonen. I'm a former Finnish military officer who quit his career to become a game developer and work on this project called Road to Vostok. I've been making this game for around 4 years now and making these YouTube videos, and I think, or this is the first time that I appear in front of the camera. I have been in quite a difficult places before in front of large audiences, and also I have that military background, but somehow this moment is quite nerve-wracking, so I do have some notes to help with me, so I want to apologize beforehand if I have to rely on this. I think the main reason why I haven't appeared in front of the camera is because personally I don't have any interest for any personal fame or recognition, so I just want to be a developer behind the scenes. But why now? Because when you are selling something like this game, early access, I think it's fair that you appear in front of the camera, so this falls in the topic of transparency, I think. For those who don't know Road to Vostok, Road to Vostok is a hardcore single-player survival game set in a post-apocalyptic border zone between Finland and Russia. The game takes place in real abandoned locations and focuses on southeastern part of Finland, where I personally grew up as a kid. And for example, this is one of the locations that is also in the game where we are shooting this launch video today. Today is quite a special moment in multiple ways. It has been quite a journey to reach to this moment. There have been quite a lot of sacrifices that needed to take place in order to reach this early access launch. But I will make a separate video about the development journey, the events that lead to this day. In a separate video, I will cover all the behind the scenes stuffs. I will share all the financial stuff, for example, how this early access launch went, how much money was needed to reach this point, and so on. So there will be a separate video probably 1 or 2 months after this launch. Okay, I think one of the main questions and goals for this video is to provide some expectations for the early access, meaning what the early access offers on top of the existing demo. There have been over 1 million demo downloads for Road to Vostok. Thanks for all who have played the demo, and I'm going to approach this in a way that we are going to switch to a separate voiceover, and I'm going to showcase some early access footage and talk about things, how the early access build, how it differs from the demo one. So we will see you in a bit. Welcome to this voiceover part of the video. A few days ago I posted a full changelog related to early access content, and this changelog has over 220 additions and fixes. Even though it's a long read, I highly recommend giving it a look so you get an understanding what has been added to the game compared to the demo. Since I can't obviously cover the entire thing in this video, here's the key points from that changelog. When or if you decide to purchase the early access and you have the game in your Steam library, there's few important options to begin with. After you click play, you get few launch options. There's basically DirectX and Vulkan. These are graphical APIs and you can try which one works for your hardware the better. Especially if you experience some issues or crashes, try another API and see if that fixes the issues for you. This will probably impact only a small number of players, but if neither DirectX or Vulkan doesn't work for you on launch day, I'm also going to support a third API called OpenGL shortly after the launch, which is pretty bulletproof for all kinds of hardware, so hotfixes and patches are coming to help you. Once you have launched the game and you're in the main menu, there's few things that I want to highlight. First, when you look at the bottom of the screen, you see an indicator for your selected API. There's an in-game changelog toggle, hardware check, an option whether you want to watch the lore-based intro scene when starting a new game. If this is your first time playing Road to Vostok, I also highly recommend the tutorial and playing around with the different game mechanics first in a safe environment. When you're ready to start a new game, you have now all the game modes unlocked. There's standard mode if you want the basic starting scenario, meaning you get a shelter spawn, starting kit and a neutral setup for your first day. If you choose the darkness mode, you start from a random location without a shelter. You have no starting gear and there's a bunch of other stuff that is randomized for your character. Iron Man mode is something that you probably don't want to select at the beginning, since that has absolute permadeath everywhere. So save that maybe for a later challenge. Then there's also the seasonal options, and I recommend the summer for your first playthrough. Okay, now we get to the main game content, and let's start with the new tools UI, which is quite important. First, you have so-called event calendar, where you unlock new game events as the world simulation progresses. This basically means that based on how many days you have survived, the game world changes around you and creates all kinds of different events for specific maps and areas. This includes, for example, new traders, dynamic events, boss events, faction-based events, and so on. Here's a few quick gameplay clips from some of those events.
Särkyä vai? No niin, uutta morsianta herralle.
On top of these events, this tools UI also now contains the first set of crafting recipes, task notes to keep track of your current tasks, interactive world map, and a cassette player feature for player-driven music moments. Then when it comes to maps, all the early access maps are fully expanded and there are plenty of those. If we go over to the entire map pool, here's the village, here's the highway, then there's the school, outpost map, everyone's favorite minefield, apartments, and finally terminal, which is currently the furthest map in the game. All the maps also have those winter variants, so if you choose the winter mode for your playthrough. I also want to highlight that shelters are fully customizable like in the demo, but now there's multi-shelter support, which means that you can unlock multiple shelters and utilize those however you wish. These new shelters are scattered across the game world and they all have different style and theme. In total, there are 5 different shelters in the early access. But I decided that I'm not going to showcase those shelters in this video, so you have something to search for. This was just the tip of the iceberg in terms of new content for this early access. Like mentioned in the beginning of this voiceover, the full changelog and all the additions, changes and fixes are listed on Steam. Okay, welcome back. Even though this early access is a major milestone for me as a developer and road to Vostok, I want to highlight that this is just one step of this process of making this game. In the game main menu there's a button called Roadmap, which already lists all the upcoming builds and content, meaning what will come after the early access launch, and you can see the same roadmap and features on the project website. So in a fun way, this is just another beginning, I guess. Then another thing, and pretty important one, is that should you buy this game? Should you trust me as a developer? And should you trust one of these early access survival games? Because considering the past, they have been quite a shady project in this genre. But I'm going to make a small sales pitch, if you will, why Road to Vostok isn't just another survival game. The first point is that I think the game is pretty cool. It provides something unique to this genre. It is well aligned with the price. The game will cost $14.99 at launch. After that 25% launch discount that lasts for 2 weeks. So I think the game content and the price that I'm asking is quite well aligned. Then few another things. If we go back to my previous career, meaning when I was a military officer, I basically gave away lifetime financial security because Finnish military officer career extends all the way to the retirement, but I gave that away because this is my true passion. I'm not interested of doing any other games in my career. I'm solely gonna focus on Road to Vostok. So that decision is linked to this. Should you trust me as a developer? Because I trust myself that much that I gave away that entire career. Also related to money and careers, maybe a few years ago I received multiple pretty awesome, to be honest, pretty awesome publisher deals related to this game, and whether should I sold part of my company in exchange of making a lot of money, amount of money that would financially change my life quite a bit. But I didn't accept any of those publisher deals, even though some of them were pretty awesome and fair. But I walked away from all of those. And the reason is that I want to keep Road to Vostok fully independent, meaning I own 100% of the company. I make all the decisions, and at the end of the day, I want to put Road to Vostok in a really unique position today when the game launches, which means that there's no publishers, there's no revenue share deals, there's no investors, there's no loans. I own everything 100%. So this means that if this game makes some money, I can put all the potential game revenue back to the development and get this major development boost. Life after the early access, meaning what content is being built, developed, improved, and so on. And this is nowadays pretty unique situation for game studios because most studios at launch are unfortunately quite diluted, meaning all their revenues shares are split in so many places that even though the game is successful at launch, the money will burn out really quickly because it goes into all the wrong places, in my opinion. I actually have a small explanation what this means in terms of Road to Vostok, and I have this plan how this unique situation is going to be utilized. So we are going to switch once again to voiceover in a separate video, and we will see you in a bit.
Welcome to voiceover part 2. The situation is that I totally forgot to record this so-called plan part of the launch video in the middle of all this launch hassle. Currently when I'm doing this voiceover it's 4 AM in Finland, and this is the night before the launch, so not the most ideal timeline for this. However, since Road to Vostok is an India game, I thought that I'm allowed to take India shortcuts, so instead of preparing a polished slideshow or something else time-consuming, you are going to be treated with high-quality Photoshop skills instead. So here's the plan. I've been the lead and solo developer for this project over 4 years now. I still use the word solo developer since more than 95% of the game content is done by me. However, during these years, I have still used contractors for specific topics and created this so-called contractor pipeline for Road to Vostok, where I have extremely flexible work system for external talent and skills. Even though this contractor system has worked great, it has been really underutilized since I haven't really had proper resources to use these contractors other than just in really random and quick occasions. But nevertheless, I still have this contractor network fully ready, and I have done all the legal planning and paperwork already multiple years ago. This means that if this game makes any money, I can immediately activate this contractor network and get that development boost pretty much as soon as the first team payment comes from this launch. In other words, I don't have to do any time-consuming hiring, and since I own this company 100%, I can make decisions without having to consult anybody and get this contractor system rolling extremely fast. So that was the plan. Voiceover Antti goes now back to sleep, or to sleep, and we will switch to that other Antti. See you on launch.
Okay, welcome back once again. Before we end this video, there's a few topics left. First, I want to say thanks to my friends and family who have withstand these sacrifices that I had to make in order to reach today this point of releasing this early access. I want to say thank you to all the contractors, Patreon supporters, people over at Discord, all the companies who have supported me. So thanks to you. But most importantly, I want to say thanks to you behind the screen who have watched these Road to Vostok development videos over the years, left comments, provided feedback, played the demo, and provided me this positive development environment to work in. Then I'm going to host few community things with this launch. One of those is so-called shelter competition, meaning when the early access launches, there's going to be a competition Discord channel where you can submit screenshots of your shelters, where you can place items, furniture. Now there's the multi-shelter supporting. And speaking of companies who have supported Road to Vostok, one of those companies is Savotta, and Savotta decided to sponsor this shelter competition. The community can vote 3 best shelters. Those will be awarded at the end of April. I will mail to each winner a special secret letter from Savotta, and also they will receive Savotta Jääkäri backpack, which is also in the game. And this backpack will probably outlive you. I use this and it will be a lifelong companion. So these will be mailed to the shelter competition winners. Then Road to Vostok always and I try to enforce modding. So we're also going to have modding awards at the end of this year, which means that community can vote the mod of the year. I don't have the award here with me, but I'm going to place it somewhere here. So this award will be sent to the mod of the year for Road to Vostok. And I'm highly grateful for those people who have already modded the demo. I think there's over 50 mods. So thank you also for giving your skills and time towards this project in terms of modding. Final thing left is that we have this thing. I'm not going to launch a nuke today,
But a small quick story about this so-called launch button. My father actually made this, and the purpose of this is that it will simulate a mouse click, and basically today Road to Vostok will launch 10 to 15 minutes after this video, and that moment is pretty special and you need special tools to launch a game, so this launch button is for that. This looks like this. So it has only one single purpose. This connects to the USB, and basically I unplug the mouse, plug this in, and there's the green release the game Steam button, and I'm going to press that today in my home office, which basically means my bedroom. So I'm going to now press this button somewhere else, and game will be available shortly. I hope everything goes smoothly with this launch. If there are any technical issues, I will be stand by and fixing those as soon as possible. Hope you like the game, and like always, we will see you in the next video.